As requested, we got the Mr. Halfcock here today with this Therion tier deck. Let us get on in it. You got any shout outs, anything you want to say to the people out there?
I want to shout out to like Clifton Land for hooking me up with like the idea of the deck. Also just being like a test buddy. And like my other half, you know, just supporting me and whatnot.
Absolutely.
You know, letting me skip out on days to go play.
That is true.
Alright.
Because we know he gets shanked afterwards.
Yeah. We definitely sleep on the floor.
Alright, let's get into it.
So, since we're playing Tearlaments, we will play as many names as possible, try to get the RNG. So we play 3 Merly. We play 3 Havness, which is honestly one, in my opinion, like the best Tearlament card. This card wins games.
I hate having this with a passion.
Yeah, everyone does. Because we play on your turn? No, our turn.
Fucking flow players as a fucking fusion deck.
We have Sheeran, played another 3 of her. And honestly, the best, at least in this variant of the deck, is Rhinoheart. He's kind of like the final. This deck can play through a lot. It plays through combos, it breaks through boards. It can play through like so many interruptions, especially with Snow gone. This deck kind of got even a little bit better because that's one less archetype to worry about. And Reinhardt is just that final punch, that like last hit KO. He's our Reinhardt, so we want to maximize on as much Reinhardt as possible. So we also play the 1 reinforcement of the army. We also play Terraforming and 3 Field Bow because we also want to see Reinhardt as well as Sheeran to get rid of the Therion cards out of our hand too. So we want to see as many of these combination of names as possible. And that's why we also play Fusion Deployment too as well.
Just playing Fusion Deployment.
So the entire point is, I wasn't playing Fusion Deployment at first, but honestly the Therion cards, they're so big and they can break through and hit you so hard that honestly you don't really need to link climb in this deck. You do so much damage with just Therion cards as well as all your big fusions as well as the field spell. You can just clear boards and like hit really hard. So Fusion Deployment is just that like after you play through all their negates, after you bull, which is kind of the MVP of the deck, bull. After you bull, you do everything, you just slap down Fusion Deployment, and you just combo with your Therion cards, Fusion Summon, and you just hit him for game. Like, you just do so much. This is just an insane card, and it combos well with another Going Sun card I play. And you just, like, so you just want to maximize on these 6 names the most. These are kind of like the best in the deck, low-key. So you'll play as many Rhinehearts as possible, and these are also Rhinehearts. So you just play 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You play 11 Rhinehearts, and you play 10 Sheerans.
That's a good theory behind that. That's pretty hot.
And then 1 Soul.
Yeah, I hate that trap. That trap, gon' get.
Gets around Dark Ruler, baby.
The trap is so annoying.
Now for the Therion engine, the monsters, you don't play too many monsters. We only play 7. We play 3 King because he's the nib protection. He either ensures your combo goes through typically through like a hand trap, because you can play through 1 hand trap and you slap down the king and then you're just surviving to the next hand trap. So it ensures your combo. You play 2 Lily. Lily is also really good since you play 2 Dragosoplays in the extra deck. A lot of times you'll go through 1 Dragosopelia. They might break your board because honestly this turn 1 board for this deck isn't like the craziest, isn't the best. It's just the fall for this deck is so good. Like I'll set up a board that isn't too crazy. It's like you're probably not killing me and I'm probably stopping you from playing. It's not like too impossible though, but on the crackback you're definitely dying. And Lily's also one of those things because it searches all the best spell cards in the deck for the Therion engine, as well as a trap card, the Therion trap card we play, as well as just also commit the Dracosopelia, which comes up a lot. We play 1 Empress because we have a rank 8 play, and like I said, sometimes we're locked into fusion, so we just need to summon another body. Empress will summon a Therion monster in the spell and trap zone. Doesn't have to be specifically equipped to themselves. They'll summon anywhere. It just helps you beat over people and kill them. And we play, like I said, the MVP of this deck is Bull. Bull has won me.
I'm a bull.
Yeah, you Tyler's like, no, bro. Bull has won me so many games. Bull's like honestly one of the best monsters in the deck.
He's very good.
He's the MVP, baby. And we play 2 Colosseums because it's not the best card to mill. Like it's not like usually want to play cards that like kind of like do something with mill. When you mill these, you usually have 1 in hand, so you have something to do with the card in hand. If you mill this, it does literally nothing, and it feels kind of bad. So you only play 2.
So upset. He milled the Therion cards, and I was like, he ain't got nothing. He said, "This Coliseum." So it's the Therion card, full combo. Oh my lord! Yeah, just let you all lost that game, but the GoPro didn't get recorded. So
Evan, this is the best one of the best spell cards to mill. Is aggro system. Usually when I mill in this deck, I already have the Therion combos, the Tearlaments combo set up. Every time I want to mill, I want to hit this card. This card is so cracked. It also stops against mine. A lot of people do mine as a backup strategy and not their primary win condition. So they'll mine you, trying to deck you out, knowing that you combo, but you can't deck out my deck. I think 2 days ago I played a 40-minute game 1 against Mystic Mine.
Oh my lord.
I just kept on just playing engine backhand, keep my hand and max out my hand size limit. This card is literally insane. It also adds this if you mill this.
Yeah, that card's disgusting too.
Yeah, Cross, I wasn't playing. I put it in a week ago, and it is probably, I almost say better than Solik, because it can banish a card as well. So what Cross does, it can negate the effects, or it can banish. But if you have Engine in the grave, which 8 times out of 10 you do, you can do negate and the banish. So if they hit an effect in the graveyard, like a tier fusion, you just banish the fusion. They hit an effect in hand, you just banish it. You remove the monster entirely. It comes up, it's so good. And it's also searchable off this. So if you mill these, you add a bag. If you have this, or you have your follow-up with Coliseum, because usually Lily searches follow-up, you can just search and cross. It's so good. And then now for the power spells we play, it's literally just fusion. Foolish Paralysis.
Oh my God.
We only play 2 power spells, but these spells put in work.
Yeah, it's full combo.
Yeah, usually when I Foolish Burial, I always Foolish Burial a Therion monster. Usually, I don't actually Foolish Burial It never comes up where you Foolish Burial a Tearlaments monster, weirdly enough. Instant Fusion is just cracked because it's just free summon. And the only second Going Second cards we play, so this deck is very good at breaking boards and killing your opponent. So Going Second this deck isn't that big of a deal. The only Going Second cards you play is Callby. And you play a play sets of Forbidden Droplets.
Yeah, the drip drip.
Hey, don't hate.
Forbidden Droplets.
He's jealous because he don't have Germans. No, but I was playing Dark World no more until I got Eradicated Virus, and I was like, that sucks.
Heads up, there goes all your spells.
Yeah, so now I was like, well, now I guess I'll play a Droplet. Or Droplet also comes up when you go first, because sometimes you go first, you have Dark World, it doesn't do anything. You go first with Dark World, they hand trap you twice, you play through one, can't really play through the second one, you set this, and you play it on their turn. It also gets Therion monsters out of your hand for going second to extend in plays and kill. For the extra deck, the extra deck is pretty flexible, honestly. This is just my personal preference. You can play 1 dark. I feel like this card is kind of mandatory at this point nowadays. This is like, you have to play this card. You play a lot of darks, and it kills your opponents. It also takes monsters. You can take a kit, which can extend your plays. Takes Merly, extends your plays.
Yeah, very true.
We play 1 IP, because sometimes in the combo you'll make, well, Elf and IP with the King set, with a Merly engraved, and a Solik set. With like a Therion card you want to discard, or an engine you don't want in your hands, or you already, sometimes you open 2 engines you need 1 to discard for later.
Very true.
Elf is like usually what you make in the combo. If you just like have an Elf, a King, and a Cloud of Hearts, Solik, or whatever, but it's usually Elf and King is always like the main turn 1 combo. I said the turn 1 combo is what's boring about this deck. It's not supposed to be this unbreakable like board that's like the normal turn 1 deck. It's more just to be so that you can't kill me, I come back and I kill you. That's the entire point of the deck.
Alright.
We play 1 Unicorn just for outing cards, as well as like Necro Valley, because I got freaking Necro Valley like 3 times. Necro Valley, as well as something the IP into, and the access code. Just to, after you spend like resources to break board, sometimes you just need a big dude. And he's your big dude. And these are literally all the links you play. You don't play many links, because you don't need to.
Very true.
We play a bigger fusion package. We play 1 Mud Dragon. We play 2 kits. We play 1 Garuda. We play 2 Draco. And we play 1 Heart. So you always want to play 2 of these, because a lot of times you need to shuffle in the kit to make a kit for later in the game, because sometimes some games do get kind of grindy. You play 2 Draco Sepelius, because usually if you use 1 Draco Sepelius on their turn, you can always make a second one on their turn too as well, and just use it again. So playing 2 comes up a lot. Was playing 3, was not needed, so I took it out. Mud Dragon is insane, because sometimes going second, you can slay that Institution, and you just summon Mud Dragon, and you just protect yourself from Imperm. I think I was playing against the Tearlaments mirror match. He looked at Imperm and Solik set. His hand wasn't very good, and like Kit, I just summoned Mud Dragon with Instant Fusion, and then he just didn't respond to it, which was his mistake. I just made him a dark.
And then you continue to combo.
And then I just like play and I just kill him on turn. That's all the fusions we play. For the XYZs, because we do play XYZs, we play Time Thief Redoer. He's like honestly, he's like I guess if I can give like a shout out to MVP, he's like kind of like the third one. He sometimes your hands aren't very good, or you have to play through like 2-3 interruptions, and your hand isn't there for it. You just make him. You steal like even if it's a monster, you steal him, and you just fusion on their turn. And that's just good enough to win most.
Yeah.
Not to let you die that turn.
Kind of like steamrolls the effects and stuff.
Steamrolls, it can start a snowballing effect. It also just prevents you from dying. And then you just kill him on the crackback. Abyss Dweller, because Abyss Dweller is cracked this format. Played against an Eldritch Tearlament last night. And I just made Abyss Dweller pass, and I just killed him next turn.
Yeah,
he just couldn't do
do
anything. He milled a bunch of traps, couldn't activate them. And this is the like, kind of spicy, but like, kind of like not bad. Zombie Vampire. It's super risky in this format, right? But like, you play a lot of 8s, and sometimes going to Zombie Vampire wins games. It just absolutely wins a game. Where like, especially in like the middle of a game where you guys are kind of grinding out, like both hands weren't that good, and you're trying to like, you're going very back and forth. Zombie Vampire, sometimes you can do the math in your head, knowing they have like 2 Merleys in grave, you have 2 Rhino Hearts in hand, they have a Sheer in grave, and then you have more Tearlaments in your deck, you have a higher chance of hitting a card, and they have a lesser of a chance. And if you hit at least one of their Tearlament monsters, you can just summon their monster and use it for link material and still get your fusions off.
Very true.
Yeah, and there's sometimes there's combos where you make where you'll have Kit on fields, and you'll summon Heart, shuffle something back, overlay him into this. I'll pitch Kaleido Hearts, and then you just go Kit some of that Kaleido Hearts, and that's just 6k damage right there. That's the extract for the side deck. The side deck is because you want to stop the Iraq-Air Virus combo because it's pretty oppressive sometimes. You just play Nibs. Nibs is also just good for the rogue matchup. Sometimes, very true. Sometimes this deck has kind of hard matchups with like rogue, where it's like against the meta deck. This deck is really good. I have a really high hit win rate. I just come in, I'll just like stomp decks because they think they're the best in the world, and then you just throw them Therion cards. They go, oh, this is scary, and you scare them. Also, just for like big boards. Since you play Fusion Deployment, you have the space and the freedom to play Lava Golem, because you can just Lava Golem and slam down Fusion Deployments.
And still be able to combo.
Still combo. Yeah, it's super fire.
Don't need to normal summon them.
Yeah, you don't. And then, this is my favorite card of all time, Diamond Star Pegatrops. If I have space to play this card, I always play this card. I literally love this card.
That card needs to be tattooed on your forehead. Man, open paint all the time.
It's because it's German collectors, baby. I love this card.
Got special paint. Beat over something. Pop. Keep going.
Keep going. Another thing to help with the rogue matchups is Drool and Lockbird. Primarily against Drytron. Sometimes going against Vandy's is kind of hard.
Yeah.
You don't always open Droplet. Yeah. So Drool and Lockbird is just good. It's also good just rogue matchups in general, like heroes.
Very true.
True.
I do draw a lot.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Or something like else, just stopping people from drawing. I think locking, with the way this deck is set up, locking someone out of an entire mechanic or like entire like type of like way to play the game is really strong. It will always be strong.
I'm probably good in the Runic matchup too, because they draw a gazillion cards.
They do.
Because the ritual card and the field spell is not once per turn.
No, it's not.
God, that's fucking crazy.
It's pretty rough. For just the back row decks, we just play 2 Cosmics and 3 Twin Twisters. It's for your setup powers, 1 Empress, 1 Engine, 3 Droplets, just to go against back row decks. And yeah, that's literally it.
All right, not bad, not bad. Again, shout out to Alan. He's the one that got second place at our OTS championship, right under the Sky Striker. We'll be getting the Sky Striker profile whenever the hell we see him next. But other than that, thank you for your time and the profile.
No problem.
We'll see you, and I might be able to 2 them in this tournament. I don't know. Catch you guys later.
Psych.